water. He really wanted a good result
and you
here.
could hear the collective sigh of disappointment from everyone here in the booth, hoping for a photo finish, so to speak, at the line for Chris Ward on that one. Just didn't happen this time. So Chris Ward back to the Tapas bars, and Tom Whitaker moving through to round 4. And in this next one, up and riding, this is South Africa's Travis Logie. Another one of those surfers on fire but flying under the radar.
And coming unstuck and outside him, Cory Lopez, all the way from Indian Rocks, Florida, driving and gazing down the line of this beautiful wave here. Cory Lopez gaining speed, carving it off the top. Immediately the lines are different, aren't they, Dave?
Well, after
goofy foot, front side surfer.
Backside battle in the last one, yeah, this one. Oh, and Cory.
Look at, God, man. Old Cory gaining a lot of speed there all the way down the line with a succession of floaters, and a fairly good scoring ride there from Cory to open his account in this heat. Well, you know, I fear you may have spoken too soon there, Dave, when you were talking about maybe the swell was gagging, because it certainly seems like it's kicked with that last set.
Well, let's hope we get some more of this afternoon, Nick. We'd love to get as far as possible through these round 3 heats. We're already up to heat number 7, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed. Travis Logie out of South Africa. Cory Lopez from Florida. Travis Logie currently sitting at 19th on the rankings. And Lopi, where is Lopi? Down at 23rd position. So not too many spots separating these two surfers. 19th in the world, Travis Logie. Cory Lopez, 23rd. Very similar styles in this one as well, Nick. Travis out the back, and Cory opening up with a great wave, getting a ride back out the back from Gary Elkerton. And a 5-5 for first of Cory Lopez. Here's that first wave of Travis Logie.
Off the top, really nice flowy turn, that first one there from Travis. I think he's kind of got it in his mind that he's going to get a pretty good score first up, but it all comes unstuck on this turn. Goes up, throws it high, puts the nose in, comes unstuck.
Do you think that was just a lack of attention to detail on that one from Travis Logie, or think some of the chop is kind of affecting things on the face?
I think it was just the first wave blues, man. But here we see Cory Lopez living through the first wave blues and finding his rhythm at the same time. Yeah. Now, watch the goofy foot approach here. You can use those little sensitive adjustment of the toes in the bottom turn to drive the rail high on the wave, and Cory makes a wave here all the way down the line that I think a regular foot would have really struggled with, and finishes it really nicely with a little poppy floater off the end there. So right there for Cory Lopez, a 5.5 for Travis Logie, a 2.07. More sets now moving, thundering through the lineup here at Mundaka, the fabulous and legendary wave of the Basque Lands.
I guess I upset Huey saying that you couldn't come up with the rising tide. Mother Nature throwing the tides at us.
Well, if I thought it was as easy as upsetting Huey, I'd be doing it every day.
And well, sounds like go to GT
and Tommy Whitaker.
Hey, Tommy. Okay, so you kind of crushed the first one, then you kind of fell off on one, and then you kind of backed it up.
Yeah, I thought I made a couple of really crucial mistakes at the start. Wardo's been ripping on his backhand, and I fell on like 2 bombs at the start. I was like, well, there's not many of them out here. And luckily, I just sat patience, and it's been one of those years where they seem to come to me a little bit.
And so, conditionally out there, the tide's coming up. This has been like, we're kind of entering that heat-by-heat zone, if you know what I mean. But it seems to keep on pouring in.
Yeah, I mean, with the tide coming up, the swell, it kind of picks up a foot or two, and you just got to wait for the sets. The little ones are going to die out, but the sets are just pumping out there. There's come off the bottom, there's a little fluffy lip for you, and a couple of hack sections. It's still pumping.
Did you say fluffy?
Little fluffy lips.
Okay, now, on a personal question, why does it always look like you're right on the edge of mischief? Like, you always have this, like, grin on your face that something's about to happen.
No, we just like having fun, me and the boys. You know, we get a lot of lay days, and there's no point just moping around, you know. We're always doing something, having some fun, and sending monkey mails or whatever we're doing.
Monkey mail? Anyways, Tommy, congratulations. Well done.
Thanks, GT.
Cheers. All right, boys. Nick, Dr. Mailman, You know they call him the mailman because he delivers.
Well, let's hear him deliver here, Dave.
Thank you very much, GT. And up and riding on this run, Travis Logie, someone else who needs to deliver on his second wave of this heat. First vertical off the lip, 2 more smacks off the top there for Trav. Beautiful roundhouse cutback. No problem with the little chop on this wave. Snaps it back into the pocket. And continuing on down the line as this one fattens out a little bit. And just the Energizer Bunny. Look at S turning his way on that last section. One more smack there and one more whack off the whitewash, as my good buddy Peter Townend would say. So answering back to Cory's super long one of 5.5 on the last wave for Cory Lopez, Travis Logie, both obviously only one wave scores for those surfers, but only needed a 3.44 to go back into the lead. He's left Cory out in the back with priority, but Trav has just taken over the steering wheel of this heat. Nick Carroll with 24 minutes, just under 25 minutes remaining. So only 5 minutes into it.
Absolutely,
and
and
still plenty of action in the lineup.
That's right, and I'm pretty sure the judges will be reasonably happy with that ride of Travis's. It may not be a super high scorer, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was the equivalent of Cory's first ride. Off the top a couple of times here, you can see him beginning to get his feet really nicely. Travis is an incredibly energetic surfer. This guy is able to put so many moves onto one wave. It's kind of crazy, but he's also really, really good in heavy waves too. He must have that South African sort of moxie thing going for him.
Exactly. He has great wave knowledge. Looks like he really reads the conditions well. And didn't do it quite so well on that first wave, but on this one,
yeah, beginning to find his feet.
All together.
I don't even know if he'd had a surf today yet, but it looks to me like he's ready to start producing a fairly high score. This one's going to end up being around 5.67, so it's roughly equivalent to Cory Lopez's first ride. The two surfers effectively level pegging right now.
And it's interesting, you were talking earlier about how the conditions were actually working in the regular footers, the backside surfers' favor, being able to kind of get a little bit more vertical on those backhand off the lip turns, and we see the frontsiders packing a lot more turns in on a wave, but not getting that same power, and no one on those first two waves coming anywhere close to that 9.5 of Tommy Whitaker's. And everyone out there on the internet who's asking us to please show Tommy Whitaker's 9.5 again, just wait a couple minutes and go click onto Heats on Demand, and you can watch Tommy Whitaker's entire heat again and again and again and again. There they are, Travis Logie, Cory Lopez, our two goofy footers in this one. Travis out of South Africa in the red singlet, Cory Lopez from Florida in yellow. And they are both out the back.
They're at either ends of things, aren't they, Dave? Cory Lopez has been around for some considerable years now.
Ages.
I don't
know how many, but
one of the boldest surfers in the world. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if anyone needed convincing, all they'd have to do would be to turn back to see the wave he paddled into at Chaipu back in 1999 to realise that when you're surfing with Cory, you're surfing with a guy who'll catch anything. And not only that, he'll do it with great judgment. And he's not just a kind of like maniac type guy.
No.
He only does it because he sees the opportunity in the wave. You know, that's right. Great friend of Andy Irons's. They've been
travel buddies, exactly.
Many years now, and no doubt they've shared many a victory and probably whinge to each other about defeats.
Many a defeat as well. And of course, Cory, the younger of the two Lopez brothers, with his brother Shea, off tour now at home, fishing and doing photo shoots.
And maybe even watching today, who knows?
Most likely. As we've got plenty of family members out there. The Sullivans writing in, sending their congratulations to Poncho from earlier. Looks like the Brazilian contingent there on screen, hanging out, checking the action. And meanwhile, back out here, Travis Logie and Cory Lopez. And you were saying, Nick, contrast maybe not of styles, but of experience. Travis Logie in only his second year on the WCT.
Yeah, that's true. Travis, a real live wire, energetic surfer, as you saw on his first decent scoring ride. He's constantly in motion. He kind of likes that. I think also you were saying a day or so ago, Dave Mailman, that Travis is sort of been a bit worried by his tendency to try to throw too many moves onto a wave, and he's beginning to try to slow his surfing down and pace it out on the wave a bit smoother so that he can put a bit more power into each of his turns.
Well, that's exactly what was lacking. Travis used to be the guy you could count on him to get it, sevens. He could put as many sevens on the board as he wants, but needed to step it up to the next level, and has kind of slowed down and adjusted to the CT on the QS, obviously. Well, and here's a few words from Travis, from the man himself, on the Super Session from a few weeks ago here in Mundaka.
Was he there or wasn't he? Let's find out.
No, I didn't.
What did you do? Come on, you're a goofy footer for crying out loud, mate. What did you do?
To be honest with you, I didn't even have any clue that it was a day to go to Mundaka. I saw France was howling onshore in 20 foot, and I didn't know that's when you're supposed to go to Mundaka. I heard about 3 hours too late. I think Dean Morrison staying in my hotel, and he phoned me and asked me if I wanted to go with him. And he said, oh, we're probably too late. And then I said, how long's the drive? And he said 2.5 hours. And I said, well, then we're definitely too late. And I bought it, and he went, and he was too late. He missed it. And, yeah, that's my story.
Tough luck, buddy. And there you can see on screen current world champion, defending world champion, Kelly Slater, and he'd be kind of like trying to stay limber and ready, and just in case he'd be going out in the next heat. In fact, he is in the next heat. I'm not sure what the status of the event is. The tide is quite high now. Whether or not we'll be continuing after this heat, I don't know, but Kelly's not willing to kind of just like let that get away from him, and he's down here and he's ready and ready to charge if he can manage that.
Well, 19 minutes to go in this one, Nick, and Kelly is really not looking too worried about his upcoming heat. I don't know. Every time I say that it looks like it's going flat, there's a big set that rolls through, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But Mr. Slater definitely not in his wetsuit yet, and not looking to be stretching or preparing boards or anything, so maybe he knows something that we don't. I'll try and get some more information for everyone out listening to us live from Mundaka here on the ASPWorldTour.com, BillabongPro.com, live from Mundaka. Once again in the water with 18.5 minutes remaining. We have Cory Lopez and Travis Logie. I'm Dave Mailman. This is Nick Carroll. There they are, playing the waiting game. It's a good question. Someone in my ear asking, got any emails?
Well, I'm pleased to say that we're on 4,932 emails, viewers. That's an incredible total for this event, and we're not far off 5,000. So have a go. See if you can break it. We'll give you a big shout when you do, I can tell you.
And, Nick, they do say that only 5% of the people who actually watch us online send in emails, so that means that we've had about 100,000 hits today. That's not bad.
Well, and you would be stoked with that. And isn't it cool how everybody can now watch these events? Like, I take advantage of it if I don't come to one, and I've only been able to come to a couple this year. But when I'm not at one, I can watch it, and it's been a revolution, man. It's like we all feel kind of a bit connected to each other. The whole surfing world can connect up and check out the best surfers doing their thing at these fantastic waves. It's really it's all good, isn't it? Really,
it's great. I put it on as background noise at home. And,
well,
of course, the first ever webcast was from Billabong at J-Bay in 1998. So big shout-out to the entire crew from the Bong.
Oh, yeah, and the crew here, I've got to say, viewers, occasionally you might see a bit of a buzz or a tremble or something in the coverage.
But doing a great job in
very
difficult conditions.
They're doing an amazing job in the background here. Sterling Howen and his crew, I think the legends of the current webcast world, really, and they're setting the trend.
And Billabong is setting the trend and continuing to innovate. The first ever event to have the Heats on Demand button on your screen. So if you've missed any heat in the entire event up till now, you can go onto the homepage, click on Heats on Demand, and watch any heat you want. And it's official now. This will be the last heat of the day, so everyone, you're going to have to come back tomorrow for the first heat of the day with 7-time world champ Kelly Slater and Billabong Pro Mundaka wildcard Jose Coyatzo. And Nick, I guess they've got another interview queued up for us.
Yeah, we do. As we wait for the next set of waves to come through, let's hear what Travis Logie has to say about learning to surf this amazing wave.
I think, being a rookie here at Mundaka, the most important thing for me is what I've been doing the last couple of days is just watching it as much as possible, watching guys surfing it, and surfing as much as possible. That's all you can do. There's not much else you can do, and just go out there with confidence. Try not to think that maybe the guy you've been surfing against has been coming up for 10 years. I mean, who cares? If you get 2 good ones and you surf the way you do every day, you're going to beat them. So that's what I try to focus on.
Well, Nick, I think that they knew that Travis would be up against a 10-year veteran like Cory Lopez when they recorded this interview. Cause
there's no doubt they do have occult powers.
Fits the situation perfectly.
Yeah.
They have their little crystal ball out.
Well, a small set of waves beginning to approach the competition area right now, and I'm guaranteed one of these waves is going to break. One of the surfers is probably going to go. Really nice little waves, actually, coming into the contest zone. But you know what? I don't think the surfers are going to go. I think they're going to sit it out. They're waiting for something sizable, something really thick.
Well, they've both taken off on big set waves, or big for the relative term for the conditions that we've seen in this heat so far. And they've scored a 5.5 for Cory Lopez on his first wave and a 5.67 for the second wave of Travis Logie. Those are the only 2 decent scoring rides so far in this heat on waves that they've ridden all the way to the end of the sandbank. So they're going to be sitting out there going, well, we got to wait for a macker if we're going to have any hope of putting good or excellent wave scores on the board. So the waiting game has started with 14 minutes remaining in this one. Could come down to tactics at the end. What do you reckon, Nick?
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly it will.
Now, feel free to disagree with me if you want.
No, I don't have the guts to disagree with you. The tactics is definitely going to play the big part in the closing minutes of this heat. The 2 surfers both have virtually equivalent scores. It's really about who's going to get the best last ride, and that means that priority is going to be the big deal in this heat. Mundaka, though, has a way of turning it round on you, and at any moment, you do feel that the ocean could offer up a really solid set of waves and recreate the scenario. Someone get a bomb, someone else, screw up somehow, and then all of a sudden someone will be in command.
Well, speaking of sets, it looks like there's one that's starting to fill in and poke its nose up at the end of the bank here. Cory and Travis waiting patiently. There's little lines coming in, but once again, is the tide going to play the role of the troublemaker in this one? The first line of that set has come through absolutely unbroken. Second wave as well. And looks like this set may be a dud, Nick.
It could well be a dud. There's long lines here, but will one of them stand up on the sandbar? Both surfers are sitting well out, and they're obviously waiting for an absolute bomb. I think someone's going to have to kind of go this. It's going to tempt Cory Lopez. He's turning and paddling and making his move here. Cory Lopez from Indian Rocks, Florida, up and riding. Launching himself up into the lip. Going to try and gain speed all the way down the line here and extract the maximum possible scoring opportunities from this wave. Travis Logie left sitting out the back and watching as spray flies off the back of this wave. Cory repeats his manoeuvres, drives down, and boom, a really nice foam rebound to finish, and a strong scoring ride there from Cory Lopez. He's just going to skate his way in and get on that ski and get out as fast as he possibly can, because there can be no time lost at this point in the heat.
No, not at all. We're almost 2/3 of the way through now, and if you can remember back to the first few minutes of the heat, which is when that set wave came in and Cory posted a 5.5, what are you thinking as far as the judges' scores compared to his first wave?
I don't think there'll be a huge amount of difference, actually. You can see here Cory got the best moments of this wave at the beginning and at the finish of the wave. This is a really nice off the top here from Cory, but he did have to regather and get going really, really quickly. And a lot of the rest of this wave he spent trying to set up something,
Exactly.
He got a nice carve off the top here, came around, but still his eye down the line trying to get speed again. Kind of a similar move again off the top, this time just getting a bit of a bounce out of it. and continuing to launch his way down the line, goes up and does a sort of a semi-layback off the foam, and that was another really good moment on that wave. But not a lot going on that wave. It may, however, prove to be the biggest wave of the last half of this heat.
Well, we shall see a 6.67 on that last wave of Cory, so he has taken the lead, and Travis Logie needs a 6.51. He'll have watched that one from out the back, and we'll know that that's good for a 6.67. So it's going to take a set wave, and it's going to take some doing for Travis Logie, but he does have priority now, which means that he has the choice of any wave that rolls through the lineup as the tide gets higher and higher. And that's funny. Nathan Fletcher writing in, rooting for Cory. Don't know if that's the real Nathan Fletcher, but I do know that he is hanging out in Hosker right now, so it could be.
They could be. We did get an email in from Judy Slater, Kelly's mum, saying, "Well, will Kelly be surfing today?" And no, he won't be. Judy he's off for the day. This will be the last heat of the day. Somebody else wrote in, and I've missed his name because he's gone off the chart already. We can always dial you up again later, mate, if we miss you. But he said, if I'm number 5,000 email, can I have a contest Rashi? And the answer is no, you can't.
And we're over 5,000 emails now anyways, so sorry about that one.
Sweet.
And into the last 9 minutes of this heat. Nicholas and Travis still needing a 6.51. There they are, playing the waiting game. Trav has priority. Cory's got the lead.
He does have priority, and it does look like there may be one last set in this heat. Whether it's big enough to break on the sandbar, I couldn't tell you, mate. It's a difficult situation now for Travis Logie. He's probably sensing the quietude of the ocean. And that's our big word for the day.
That's Nick Carroll's dictionary word for the day, quietude.
Look it up.
Look it up. And yes, the ocean has become very calm, flat, and tranquil, and that will be causing Travis to get very, very stressed out right about now.
Yes.
And
in fact, for him
it
might even be a travesty.
You can tell that we're getting quite a ways along into the afternoon, almost 4 p.m. local time. That's about 1 hour off of happy hour, and I can't wait for that happy hour because things getting a little bit silly here in the booth. And as the action quiets down out in the water, things starting to heat up on land here in Mundaka. And 7 minutes and 55 seconds of surfing and of color commentary left in our day, Nick Carroll. How you feeling about that? Bit disappointed that you're not going to get to watch Kelly this afternoon?
I kind of am. I really had hoped for this swell. This morning when we all got up early and realised that it had kicked in a little bit earlier than expected, I thought, well, isn't this cool? I mean, if this is ahead of what they're predicting for the afternoon, then it's just going to be barnstorming the Savo. But in fact, you do get the feeling that the swell came in a little bit earlier than expected, and that maybe, just maybe, it's already peaked and will be on the way down overnight. Well, we can only hope that that's kind of not the case, and we get another good, strong day in tomorrow here at Mundaka.
Well, Francois Lietz, the weather and wave forecaster from Billabong Europe's called it this morning, said we'd get through 10 heats today. We got through 9, and he says that the swell will stick around for tomorrow and should be a little bit bigger. So,
oh, really?
He's been right so far. So let's hope that his luck keeps up with the calls as well as with the action out in the water.
I reckon that's super cool. Well, Francois is doing a bit of ski driving too, mate. And
yes, he's a multitasker.
He's a multitasker, and so I guess he's
doing a great job in the water, doing a great job out of the water. His swell reports have been spot on so far. One of the people that Mike Parsons has been asking about general swell forecasting in the area, of course, with our local Australian from Billabong, Spain, Craig Sage, owner of the local Billabong Surf Shop, which is the only place you can get the special Billabong Pro Mundaka 2006 T-shirts, is at the Billabong shop here in Mundaka. And with 6 minutes remaining, the boys are queuing up another interview with Travis Logie.
And let's see, this guy's an expert on this question. He's going to tell us all what the difference is between the WQS, the World Qualifying Series, and this level of competition on the World Championship Tour.
From the QS to the CT, it's a huge jump. And pretty much everything, as far as wave quality goes, surfing ability, everything. You just have to step up your game hugely. Your board's completely changed because on the QS you're always looking for the fastest, smallest little snapper board you can find, and then on the CT you have to surf way more solid waves and do way bigger turns on those waves and get barreled. So you have to change your whole outlook on surfing pretty much. So it's a hard transition. A lot of guys find it hard. Luckily I had a pretty good first year on tour, so I got some good boards, and yeah, it's been pretty good second year, so I'm stoked.
It's just a series of rungs on the ladder, isn't it, Dave Mailman? From like rookie grommet at your local break, where you're kind of on the bottom of the totem pole,
doing some pro juniors, maybe entering the 1- and 2-star QS contests.
Right. Then the hot guy at your local beach who sort of dominates everybody in the lineup. Then all of a sudden you're travelling, you go overseas, you get your butt totally kicked. Right? And then you go overseas the next year and you don't get your butt totally kicked. You start winning some heats and you start
making some rounds and
some scores and all that sort of stuff. You watch some of your heroes going to bat. You watch some of them going down. You feel your own abilities begin to rise. Somehow you get yourself qualified on the World Championship Tour, and then, oh man, it's like there's a whole nother ladder
exactly
on top of that,
That's why the QS is called the Party Tour, and the Top 45, the Foster's ASP Men's World Tour, is the Dream Tour. It's been another dreamy day here in Mundaka, especially for Joel Parkinson.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any doubt that Parko got the
waves of the day.
The waves of the day. And
possibly the waves of the contest.
A most fortunate gentleman. He paddled out at exactly the right moment as the tide shifted and opened up the sandbar really, really well. The wind was still offshore at that stage, and Parko racked up an enormous score with a series of beautiful tube rides. Had to feel for his opponent in that heat, Jared House, who'd found himself on the wrong end of the wave choice, and as if that wasn't enough, he also had to listen to Parko racking up another 9.5 every time he took off.
And watch Parko's smile get bigger and bigger every time that Elko dropped him out the back off the ski to come back and join him and listen to his score. Watch the smile get that much bigger.
Yeah, it can't have been a pleasant experience, but Jared, of course, having to be a good sport about it, because what can you do once one of the top 5 guys goes on a rampage like that? You can kick,
especially when it's one of your mates too.
Yeah.
They're good buddies and have surfed plenty of heats against one another. So, Klausy's got to be stoked for him. Parko is in the hunt for the world title, but at the same time, the best he could manage was a 6.67. So he knew the 10-point rides were out there and just couldn't get one.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very difficult situation now, though, for our surfers in the water at the moment. Cory Lopez leading this heat with a 5.5 and a 6.67. And Travis Logie in second place. He needs a 6.5-point ride to win, but will there even be another wave break? I just don't know. Travis seems to be paddling for a wave right now. Will it give him an opportunity?
Well, with 2.5 minutes remaining, this could be a big mistake because this wave might not even break. Well, he's up and riding, and it is just now starting to break, but I don't know how he's going to get a 6.51 on this, Nick.
Man, it will be a feat of the imagination, I reckon. Looks like Travis is going to run it right down into the classic kiddie bowl section.
Yeah. And it is opening up for him, and he's throwing down as many turns as he can. I could have spoken too soon. Maybe I jinxed him positively for once.
Yeah, he did absolutely everything he could on that wave, Travis Logie. I don't know if the judges are going to reward it with a winning score, but he couldn't have really done much more on that wave.
Well, when you saw some of the bigger set waves the guys rode earlier on and the amount of maneuvers that they could pack into those, I would be a bit surprised if the judges drop a 6.51 for that. Just as a reminder, Cory's first wave a 5.5 and his second wave a 6.67.
Let's have a look.
Take a look at the replay.
He's powering his way into this wave, and I guess he just senses the rhythm of this is that there won't be another wave in this heat, and so he's got to make use of this one. And Travis working hard to gain some momentum. I guess at this point he might have been thinking there's no way, but then all of a sudden the wave begins to stand up, and he gets a bit of a sense for it and starts carving some nice turns back down the face, and another one, And he starts thinking, maybe this is possible, maybe it is, but then he realises this wave's over and it's only a
Good for a
4.67. It's not going to be enough to take this heat. And just 50 seconds remaining. We don't see another set on the horizon, really. There might be a little wave coming, but it won't be in time for Travis Logie to manage another ride.
Oh, and that was it. Actually, we were a 30-second delay from